Hello there. Hello there. What's up, Steven? What's up, Victor? Is the mic loud enough? Wobbling here. There's a fly in my office. It's been here for like 3 days, and I can't kill it. How's the mic? Does it need to be any louder or no? Where's crew chief? Sorry, I think I'm already started. Okay. Mic sounds a bit low. Okay. What about now? What about now? Okay, that sounds better. Yeah, I just saw it. It peaked just a little bit, just a little bit. So that's probably as good as it gets. With the mic stand that I have, and I have it connected to the rig now, because I was tired of the headphone mic. Um, so this is my good mic, and it's like a spy movie. So like the rig is all nice and neat, and I even have lights up there that I don't have on right now. But at some point, I'll turn the lights on another day. I worked hard on getting everything organized last night. I actually got rid of a bookshelf that was to my left. It had all my Zelda stuff on it. I got rid of. I condensed the Pokemon and Zelda shelf so it's on one, and I moved that one upstairs into the living room, dining room area. So I did all that last night, and when I got home from work, I played around with my kids. My kids came down to my office, and you know, they helped me get my mic set up. And so off to the right is where my regular desk is with my double monitors, the TV on the wall, and then my desktop is on an old table that was actually my grandparents, an old side table. So I have my desktop sitting on top of that. But because my desktop is all the way over there, I'm running my FANATEC cord to the front of the desktop, and then my camera and the mic have cords coming from the back of it. So it's it's like a spy movie, when the lasers come in from the walls, and then like, yeah. So if I have to get back to my desk, I have to like squat and then like stand up halfway and then put one leg over. Yeah, it's a mess. But it's all I can really do. This room's kind of small. It's not very big at all. So, um I mean, this is what we have to work with, and this is what we're going to be doing. Um, so yeah, I mean, it looks when you walk into the office and you see everything, like, you got the camera and the mic, and it's just like, now this is a good work area. This is a good rig. Um, then yeah, you can see some of my Ampharos. Ampharos is my favorite Pokemon, so I have like a line of them there. And there's actually some artwork up here that you guys can't see it, but maybe I'll do an office tour, post some pictures or something. But no, it's starting to look really nice. And yeah, don't trip the lasers, dude. I trip a laser, then I'm probably breaking off a USB port in my motherboard, and that's I spent enough money on creating this masterpiece. I don't need to be buying anything for my computer. So that's why, yeah, I made sure that I I undervolted the 3060 Ti because we have to do that. Otherwise, she runs at like 90 when we're doing any kind of race. Even if we just have the car on the track, it gets between 85 and 87. During a race, it gets up to 90. And it's like, we want to do endurance racing here. We can't have our GPU running at 90 for 6, 12, 24 hours. It's just not is not doable. So yeah, my wife asked when I because I moved my desk over to the right wall because it had been well, it was kind of like in the middle, sort of. And I ended up moving it, and I had already planned on taking that one bookshelf and then stacking on top of the other one, but the ceiling's too low, so I couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, the rig's here. I got to put it together. So I had like the left monitor was like smashed up against the bookcase, and I was like, okay, well, I took the time to unload everything, reorganize all this. It looks all nice. So I said, looking forward to your streams and following along your progress. Dude, Victor, you and I have a feeling we're going to be best friends. I got to go watch a movie with mom because I promised her, but I'll tune back later if you're still on. Yep, of course, dude. I'll catch you every day. You've already taught me a lot, in the last few days that, you've been streaming, I've been lurking in there. Uh, so no, you know, I have a feeling that we're going to be best. That fly, I swear to God. There's no flies in my house whatsoever, but there's one in my office, and it's been here for like 4 days. And I'm seriously, that's why my dog. Where did my dog go? Well, the big dog was down here. She's been camping out in my office the last few days trying to catch this fly. Um, but anyway, yeah, Victor, I appreciate you. Uh, I'll be seeing you. I'm. My plan is it is now 8:31. My plan is to knock out some B class time trials uh, so that we can go ahead and promote to our A class license. Last night I ran 3 races last night. Uh, yeah, it looks like I did a time trial, then I did a race. First race I didn't get a whole lot. I ended up losing .02. I only had 4 incident points, but I must have gotten rid of a lot of, or I must have not had a bunch of uh, negative safety rating on the end that was about to, get pushed off after doing that race. So then we did that one race, then a couple time trials, and then we ended up running a couple races. This one was actually top split. This one was pretty wild. Um, so I qualified in 8th, and I was just looking at the lap times that all these guys were putting up. I'm like, I'm gonna start from the pit. So I started from the. It's the first time that I've ever done it. I started from the pits, and I was able to work myself all the way back up to 7th. But I mean, when I saw during qualifying, I had just looked at the oh dear lord, at like the intervals and stuff. I saw A class. I'm like, okay, whatever, A class. And then I saw he had a I rating of 3114, and I'm like, oh crap, like what are we doing in here? And then I was like 2400. I'm like, oh shoot. I was like, this has to be top split if we're getting thrown in with all these guys. Everybody else was mid mid to high, 1500 to 2000, and then you had those two who just absolutely just ran away with the race. They stuck with each other. I probably could have gotten into 5th, but I'd spent a lot of time on P6's bumper, and every single time that I was getting close, he would do racing things, and then I would have to back off. So he defended me too well that I just couldn't get by. And then this one, oh, that was the top split. And then this one was split two. I qualified in second, but my main goal last night was no incident points. I was going to get as much safety rating as I could, and um, so I had to give up some spots. I wasn't gonna because there were a few of them were just way too aggressive for my taste. I'm like, okay, well, we're not gonna ruin this just to get a podium. We have gotten plenty of podiums at Tsukuba this week. Like that's not what we're here for. We're here to farm some safety rating. So that one went pretty well. I try to stream when I can, but usually do regular uploads. Certain uploads I do set up as okay. I'll keep an eye out for them. YouTube's been having a heck of a time actually sending me notifications lately. Like for Victor, I'm not getting his for whatever reason. I think I did get the one for tonight. I know the one that he did the stream is he did this afternoon. Um, I didn't get a notification, but yeah, I'll keep a lookout, dude. And I appreciate you coming in here, but we should probably stop jabbering and get to. Uh, do I just say no balls and just go in? No warm up, no nothing, just go right into it. That's risky business, but so we're doing Road America. We're gonna run on the M4. I really haven't decided what my main GT3 is gonna be, but I figure um the M4 is just a bigger M2, right? It has all the same kind of characteristics, albeit it's a hell of a lot faster and harder to control. But a lot of people that I've talked to, they're running Miatas and they're running the GR86s, and they're like, oh, the M2, it's just a lot harder to handle, and they don't like the way it feels, and I'm like the opposite. Like the GR86, I felt like I was more slippy and slidey than I was in the M2, but maybe the handling of the M2 just clicked with me better. I'm not sure, but we're gonna run these time trials. We're gonna get it done. We are .11 short. We have to do 4 time trials. So if we basically get in, like I would say, if we get in, we do the minimum amount of clean laps, and we get out. We should probably get. My thought would be at least .03, which if we do that 4 times, that gives us .12, which would then put us over the 4.0 threshold to promote. So then we'll get that done. That sets us up very nicely to run IMSA next week at Virginia. And I probably won't be able to run a whole lot at Virginia next week just because I work all week. So that fly just landed on my nose, just landed on the mic. It's really gonna bother me. Yeah, start you.
Copy that. Let's do this.
Spotter, radio check.
Oh, diggity dig diggity dang. All right, let's see how it looks on my end. That fly just flew and hit me in the face. I don't know why it likes me. I like it. I still smell like my morning lotion. But yeah, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna try and have a clear head and not think about everything that happened today and not think about the adult conversations that my wife and I had today. We're discussing about where to send our children when they start school, and of course our oldest is 3, so we got to start thinking about sending them to pre-K, and I didn't turn my wheel on. Watch it go round and round, round and round. Excuse me. Oh. So this button here is just a flippy switch, and when I hold it, it changes my DDU into like a dark mode. So now everything's like a really light, like a mid blue. So it's easier on my eyes. It says we are running at 119 frames per second. What is up with you today, girl? And why is all this stuff, why is that showing up down there? Is it going to make me exit out? I can exit out. There we go. I was going to say, we can't back out. We can't restart it. Because we're, actually, we got to see how many laps we need. 5 clean laps. So that's about 10 minutes. 10 minutes and change. Let me know if I need to turn the car sound up. Okay. We spent maybe an hour, and I used that. I don't even think it was really an hour, because a lot of it was messing around and such. So we didn't really get a good chance to figure out I was basically just figuring the track out. So, but I think we know it well enough to get by and do, maybe. So our best time was a 2:08, and that was with very limited practice. I'm praying to God that we can get this done, but it shouldn't be too messy. I just got to remember we got cold tires here, so we're just going to go take it nice and easy. Nope. Loss of control, -2. Okay, that's not a good start to this. I ran in the M2 too much yesterday. I totally forgot how this car goes. I should have done a practice session before we did this, but now I gotta remember where we're at. Alright, big long straight, left turn. Braking marker is the number 2, I believe. Yeah, it was. And we totally missed it, but that's okay. And the overpass. I could have gotten a little bit more. Okay, I remember that. That's where we go full speed lift as we turn. Oh yeah, that's where we kind of go around and we lift. Kind of keep a little bit of throttle. We'll get it. We don't need a lift there, but I did. It's too much.
Come on, Larson. Track limits, pay attention.
I'm trying to pay attention. Thanks, crew chief. Okay, now that I remember all the turns. 5 clean laps starting now. We'll try and run it as fast as we can within reason. Yeah, that was too much. On straight, left turn. Nope, it's the ground. That was okay. Oh yeah, we don't have to do that there. We can just gun it and go. What sucks is that we're gonna run this track and all that, but it goes bye-bye, so. Okay, so that was a lot slower than our best lap. One down, 3 to go. Or no, we got 4 to go. I lied.
Okay, Larson, we got 20 minutes left here.
Oh no. Oh, we just screwed that up, didn't we?
You gotta watch the track limit.
What are we at? 4 incidents? Because I thought that was the carousel. I'm like, oops. God bless America. It's okay. That was better. Probably broke a little too hard, but carousel here. Oops. I dodged an off track there. That was close. Had to lift there. I knew I was going to fly off. Alright, so we're about a second off from our fastest the other day. Now we got a clean lap.
Flat for you.
Not quite sure how to do that turn. But we'll get it figured out. Well, I kind of got lost there. I got really lost. So maybe this wasn't the best idea to just go straight into it.
Okay, Larsson, 15 minutes to go.
It was not the best idea to do this, was it? Yep, we're going to lose quite a bit of safety rating here, aren't we? This is not good. I might as well just reset the lap because it's not going to count. I don't even... we might just have to take the boo-boo and which it sucks because this is really going to set us back. Hey, what's up, Eric? How you doing, buddy? We're just sucking at the time trials right now. I should have practiced a little bit before I jumped up. I should have practiced before I tried to jump off the cliff. But that's alright. We're gonna lose some safety rating on this one, but as long as we get it done, that's, you know, the main goal here. That and to try and pay attention where I'm at. Did you stream today, Eric, or did you take the day off? I gotta start working on Class D now. Oh, you got out of them rookies? Well, that's good to hear, my friend. Getting out of them rookies. You didn't stream. Yeah, we promoted to B class. I think the last time I streamed, which was that Friday night? And then last night, offline, after my kids went to bed, I ran a few races and was able to pull together like another 40 safety rating. So I was like, we're super close. So all we need to do now is get our NPR. So we're gonna do that through time trials because I don't have enough time as a father, husband, working a full-time career. I worked all weekend.
Okay,
you know,
Larson, 10 minutes left here.
Shut up, crew chief. So I didn't, I don't have a ton of time to run, 4 races. So we're gonna try and do these time trials without screwing up too bad. That was almost a screw up. I think iRacing is really good. It's just costly. It is. I put some money aside, and I've been working a lot of overtime. So I think, like, for every shift of overtime or whatever, I'll buy another track kind of deal. So, I don't have to break there. So, like, every shift of overtime I work, I'll take $15 and, I'll buy a track. Which I'm working a ton of overtime the next 4 months because we're so short at work on first shift. So I'm like, I'm basically working like 2 of my 3 days off, the days where my wife's not at work. Because, we need the money, and because children are expensive. That's what we've been talking about the last couple days, is about, where we're going to send our kids to school, and it's just a mess. So money is the bane of everyone's existence. So you can, yes, you can. You can do either. I think to go from D to C, C to B, and B to A, you can do either 4 races in that class or 4 time trials. Which I don't know which. I think that I can't remember which clean lap that was, but I say we just go until we only got 7 minutes left in the session. So I say we just run the entire thing. I didn't screw it up. Oh my god. Okay. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my DDU. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. And go back on the road. Very nice. Yeah, we just saved the lap there, because I think this is our 3rd. So this will be number 3. Anyway, I think it would be smart if we just kept running until it kicks us out of the session, because I screwed up so many times the first 3 laps. Because I was a dummy and I didn't go practice before I jumped into this. And just like a race, Eric, you can lose safety rating in a time trial. So that's not good. Sitting here with, 9 incident points, it's not very good. So now we're gonna have to make up that safety rating, another way. Because I like doing the time trials because, one, you get to practice and you don't have to worry about getting punted, and it gives you a good opportunity to learn the track and you get something out of it, whereas in regular practice you don't get any safety rating or anything, any of that. Doing a time trial, you can work on your lap times, work on some, the trail braking and some of the turns and everything like that, and you get a safety rating for it. So your time's not, when you practice, your time's not wasted, but as well as getting like more knowledge of the track and what you need to do, you also get a little bit of safety rating, which, once you start ranking up, the races get a lot more unforgiving. It gets more hectic. You're driving faster cars. People are running into each other and bumping into each other all the time. Safety rating is going to, unless you just somehow avoid everyone, your safety rating is going to plummet. Maybe not every race, but there's going to be more times than not when you're probably either going to gain none or you're going to lose a ton. Thank you. I appreciate it. I worked hard. I'll post
Okay,
some.
Larson, 5 minutes left here.
5 minutes left. So I'll actually post some pictures in the Discord. I reorganized everything last night and got it all set up the way I wanted it. Easy killer. So everything looks a little bit different. I got tired of the headphone mic, which it wasn't a bad mic for a headphone mic, but I paid money for this mic, on purpose. So today when I got home, my kids helped me connect it to the rig, and so now we got everything over here. It's, it makes my heart happy. Don't like being in the lower. Yeah, the lower lobbies are pretty ruthless, and it should get better in theory. But then again, you're gonna have people like me that I have an A-class license, but I ain't gonna be anywhere near the top split because you know my I rating is only like 1600 or something. So you know it's luckily it's not down in the 3 digits. You know, I had a really good week in at Tsukuba in the M2. I had a great week. I think I ran near 15 or 16 races, and I think I had a couple wins, like 6 or 7, or maybe like 7 or 8 podiums. Like we had a good week at Tsukuba. So, and then there were a few, you know, and then all the other ones, you know, I got punted and punted and punted and punted, you know, because it's the M2. It's a rookie series. But I'll probably do I'll do some M2 races next week because I've already participated in 5 weeks of it. And for the rest of the, you know, keep getting points for the rest of the season, it makes me eligible for whatever. But out of the 5 weeks that I participate, I've only gotten 2 wins, so it's not like you know, I got a win at Winton, and then I had a couple wins at Tsukuba, so it's not like I'm going to be like competitive against, you know, people in the top 10 or anything like that. But I think my goal would be to like.
Okay, Larsson, 2 minutes left.
Okay, so we're gonna finish this lap and then we're done. But yeah, I think my goal would be, you know, finish in the top 1,000. I think that's a realistic, doable goal, because I think right now I'm ranked like 1900th. So I mean that's like top 5%, I guess, of eligible racers. So whatever. It's just kind of, you know, a goal. You know, I put in work and I did the races and I did the time, so why not, you know, keep going and see where we end up. You know, it's not going to hurt anything to just, you know, take one day and run races, you know, in the M2 and just kind of see what happens. And if it wasn't good, it wasn't good. If it was, then, you know, maybe I'll see some results. And I've been running really, really slow laps. It says we have 37 seconds. We did 12 laps. So I'm just going to go ahead and park it here. All right. Session best was a 2:09, which is like a half a second or something off of our best, but yep, we got some purples there. The last 5 laps we did, although they were all very, very, very slow.
Okay, Larsson,
But
time's expired. First.
Smack like button, chat. It would be greatly appreciated. Yep, I agree. Holy cow, we got some people in here. That's awesome. I didn't even look to see how many people were watching. I appreciate everybody coming out. So yeah, that was I probably should have practiced before we went and did that time trial, but it's all right. It's a-okay. Did you have a good weekend, Eric? Did you get some rest? Let's see what we got on this time trial before we jump into the next one. I bet we got -6. I bet we got minus 0.06, 0.08. Yeah, that's not good. See, that's why you don't do what I did and not practice before you jump in there, because then you do stuff like that. So now we're gonna have to make up. Yeah, we're gonna have to make that up. So not good. But now that I kind of remember where everything's at, I'm not gonna push too hard. Because we just want to make sure we stay on the track and we stay in the limits and we don't we don't incur any incident points, because we're just looking to get that promotion so that we can say, okay, we did it, we're done, and then that way we can run what we want, and then we'll practice and make sure that we can get our pace up to the average, and that way we can run stuff without having to worry about people being mad we're too slow. Rensport, how was that? How was that? Michael Riolo is joining the time trial with us, and he's about to hand. I'm not going to cuss. I shouldn't cuss. Out of all the games I've tried, iRacing feels the best to me. Yeah, that's kind of like a. I don't know if you were in Moto Stream. It's like almost been a week. It's been like 5 or 6 days or something. He was running some open lobby. It was like a Tuesday or something weird. And I was in there hanging out with everybody, and he was like, "Oh, come on, get on, get on." I was like, "Okay." So I figured out, how to get my PS5, which is way over there, and I got it set up and got it on my monitor, got the wheel, and I was just like, I tried racing GT7. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, because I hadn't raced in GT7 in a month. So I was like, holy crap, this doesn't feel anything like what I'm used to, and yeah, so iRacing's where I'm at right now. I want to play some GT7 every once in a while, but with as much as like I can do on here, and iRacing kind of gives you goals, so my goal is to get my A class license. Okay, once we do that, then we can run the races that we want. I'm not restricted to running rookies or D class or any of that. I can run the multi-class longer. The endurance stuff, some of the endurance stuff is a B class, and that's what my when I started sim racing, that was my goal, was to uh do endurance races. So iRacing gives me goals that I can set and hopefully achieve. So it kind of it brings more of a purpose to me right now. Like GT7, I initially I wanted to collect all the cars, and the cars that I wanted, and I kind of did that already. All right, eyes on the road here. But in GT7, I did that. I got the cars I wanted. I didn't do any online racing. I was more of a time trial person. So of course, I was rolling up in my 2018 Ford GT race car and trying to get gold. When it was an open time trial, it wasn't set to one vehicle. Spent a lot of time at the Red Bull Ring for that one in June. I broke way early on that. That was kind of ridiculous. So I had goals that I set for myself, and I was obsessed with getting gold in the Ford GT at Red Bull Ring. It took me a while, but I got it. And we ended up, according to digits, sight and everything. You know, I was 16th in the U.S. in the Ford GT. It's like that. Not that, you know, a million people ran the Ford GT, but I think there were, you know, over 1,000 people that at least gave it a shot. So I know I can be going a lot faster, but like I said, we're just trying to get this done. Trying to get our 5 laps and get out. That's how I feel. I'm just not into GT7 anymore. Yeah, I mean, I hit GT7 hard for like 3 months, and it was the last night of iRacing summer sale where you got like 2 years for $65 or something.
Okay,
I'm like,
Larson, that last lap was 2:17.31.
I know, crew chief, I know that lap sucked. But, you know, the last night of the summer sale, and I'm like, $65 and I get 2 years, and I was like, yeah, but then you got to spend the money on the cars and the tracks. I'm like, well, you know, as long as I just do a little bit at a time, you know, instead of going out to, instead of buying lunch while I'm at work, just pack a lunch and take the $10 or $15 I would have spent and buy a track with it. You know, just give up a little bit of the things that oops, that was nearly bad. Just give up some of the little stuff that you don't necessarily need, and, you know, put it towards something that you want. So that's kind of what I've done. I think I bought like 7 or 8 tracks so far, and like 5 or 6 cars over the last month and a half. So I felt like I had to struggle for content on GT7 because I was at the mercy of the daily races, and I like sticking with GT3 cars and wasn't happy with the track selection. I got you. Like, there's a bajillion tracks on here. Car selection, I feel like is okay. I wish there were more, but that's okay. But I like how, like, well, there's our first off track. Great.
Come on, Larson, you gotta watch the track limit.
I need to pay attention. Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, your daily races, you're restricted to those 3 races to compete, you know, competitively, like online competition. You're restricted to those 3 races for an entire week. On iRacing, you have, I don't know, 40, 45 different series that you can run every week. And a lot of them, you know, some of the GT3s, they split them up between 3 tracks, you know, a bunch of them. And, you know, that it is what it is, but I mean, it spaces them out to where you're, you know, you can run 4 different series in the span of a couple hours. You know, if you want to do like the 15-minute, the 20-minute, 30-minute races, I just feel like there's a lot more to do. I know I'm supposed to go on the other side of that curb, but oof. But a lot of my shorts, I thought did pretty well. Last week when we did Porsche Cup, and I ran 6 Porsche Cup races. There's another off track. We're parking it right there. I'm starting back here because there's no point in running the rest of that lap.
Left front 99%, left rear 100.
But we ran Porsche Cup last week, and I ran 6 races, so I did a short on each race because, you know, something happened in each of them that was just kind of like crazy, or, you know, the avoiding crashes or getting wrecked into. You know, it was fun to make those shorts, and you know, kind of sit there and tell, you know, a 2.5 minute, 3 minute story. And you know, some people that have watched them have said, yeah, you know, that's, you know, I like that. Or so if you guys want some entertainment, check out my shorts. It's like telling a story. But yeah, last week was Porsche Cup,
20 minutes left.
and we did all right. We did okay. Not as good as I wanted to, but I think like my first race, I got top 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it was like 4 straight races of getting punted or wrecking myself, or you know, it was a rough week last week. My I rating actually dropped like 300 over the course of the week, and I was able to make all that back this week running the M2s at Tsukuba. Alright, I'm gonna concentrate here for a couple minutes and see if I can lay down some decent laps. That sunlight glare is making me feel some type of way. Oh my god, I hate it. Like in this turn here, I can't differentiate between the road and the gravel over there, and so I can't see where the, you know, where the turn is. It's like, man. So I don't know if that's for everybody, if anybody's in, you know, chat or whatever. Are there some things, you know, if you've ran Road America, especially, you know, this week where, you know, the sun just comes down where it does, like I can barely see where that turn, you know, starts. You know, and I have all my eye issues and everything, so it's, you know, it's hard for me. Easy. Yeah, I didn't really see the tube bore that well. Yeah, this is where I'm missing my braking line. So, you know, I had multiple people coming in like, why you got a racing line on, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, in order to not wreck into you, and, you know, especially if I don't know a lot of these tracks because, you know, coming from Gran Turismo 7, and I just, you know, I ran the story mode and, you know, time trials and stuff, so I mean, the story mode and everything, like, you don't run the tracks long enough to actually know what. I just ran the tracks and that was it. But with the time trials, you know, I spent hundreds of laps on, so like Red Bull Ring, I mean, I could probably drive backwards in my sleep. But because the racing line I just kind of used as,
Your fastest lap of the session.
you know, just kind of as a reference. Because like the cones, even, like, the cones are so small and everything, I'm like, I can barely see those. So, yeah, I relied on the racing line pretty heavily just because of my eye issues, but after you get into B class, the driving line goes bye-bye. So now it's pretty much every, you know, if we're going to get serious for a lot of these, then we're going to have to put in the practice.
15 minutes left.
Which, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of time to sit and, you know, practice these tracks for hours upon hours upon hours. It's basically, once the kids go to bed, jump in the rig and practice for a couple hours. And then in the off chance that, you know, the kids go to daycare, or, you know, my wife's like, oh, you know, go spend a couple hours to yourself. You know, running races has been hard for me to do. The live stream we did on, what was it, Tuesday? I don't know, I'm slowing down there. Sorry. I think the stream we did on Tuesday or whatever, that was like 7 hours long. I think we ran like 9 M2 races. Got my first pole and my first win there. That was pretty good. First win at that track, not overall. It was my second win. But it felt just as good. I don't even know what lap this is. 3? I think that's clean lap 3, right? That's how you're supposed to take that turn. You don't brake. Silly rabbit. Always scares me coming through here. I say we're gonna do 2 more after this just to be sure.
Just take your fastest lap of the day.
As a 2:13, we can do better than that. let's see if I can actually see this 2 marker here. Forgive my scooting up and squinting. Probably could have gone out in a second, but yeah, I mean, the M4 just feels like
10 minutes left here.
an ultra-fast version of the M2. It drives like a bigger boat, I guess. A bigger, faster boat. Ooh. Yeah, I had to lift there. Had to lift there, otherwise we were in big trouble.
New fastest lap for you.
Alright, so, yep, we did do better that time. Let's try and speed it up a little bit more. We're starting to get comfortable here. Starting to remember how the car feels. Keyword is try. Five, four, three, two. Felt like that was better, but carousel time. Whee! That was good. Get in there. Braking marker, where are you? We just knocked another 1.5 seconds off.
Just run a 2:10.37.
This what? How is that an abnormal lap? Oh well. We're gonna run one more. We should be good. Discontinuity. What the hell does that mean? I've never seen that pop up, but if anybody in the chat knows, holler at me and let me know what that means, because I have no clue. Oops. Should have shifted up earlier.
Okay, Larson, you've used half your fuel here. Five minutes left here.
All right.
That lap was a 2:10.86. You're currently 0.50 off your best. Front left, 97%. Left rear, 98.
Yeah, I don't know what that discontinuity. Say that a bunch. Discontinuity. Oh, my latency shot up a little bit. Weird. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that to me. Don't you do that to me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, there was. I didn't. So when I was making a short last week on, I can't remember. I think it was the last race that I did in Porsche Cup last week. For the first time ever, I had latency issues going into it. I'm like, this is not good. And spoiler alert, we finished in P4, and the latency didn't become a problem until the end. And I'm like, okay, well, I swear to God, if it ruins my finish because of latency that I've never had issues with. I pay all this money to have great internet, and that's what I expect. But my wife, the next day, I was like, "Hey, were you still awake around 10 o'clock?" And she said, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, were you swiping through reels or something?" She's like, "Yeah," and it was going really slow. Like it took like 30 seconds for everything. I was like, "Okay, so it was an internet issue, it wasn't a computer issue." But yeah, that kind of sucked. It scared me, to be honest, because first race, we qualified and towards the back, and we got up to 10th when I felt good about it, and then the next four races were just absolute dog shit. So excuse my language. Well, let's see how much better we did on that one. We'll probably get like a 1+1 or +2 boost. I mean, they're counting. They should be counting. That first one counted. Double check and make sure that photos live. Photos live. Is that guy still in that time trial? Wonder if he is. Stiggy saying, it was fun racing with you the other night. You mean when I didn't calibrate my pedals. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so I think the biggest issue of going back to GT7 after running iRacing for a month is when I got into GT7, I didn't think about the fact that I had to calibrate my new pedals because when I upgraded, I run the CLUBSPORT V3s and I never calibrated them. So that is definitely on me. Oops. All right. That time trial is not going to come up, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into another one. That one will count. We saw the purples. We saw the purples and the red, so we'll go ahead and we will not be racing tonight because it's already 9:41 and we're halfway done. We probably won't get the promotion tonight unless if we can get these time trials done, these 2 time trials done by 9 or 10:15, we can jump into the M2s, run one more race at Tsukuba. No, we can't. Yeah, it's still Sunday. Why am I thinking it's Monday? It's not Monday yet. So if we get done by 10:15, we can run a race at Tsukuba for one final hurrah. Try to get one last pull. Yeah, we got +2 on that, so that's okay. Run one last race at Tsukuba, see how high we qualify. If we don't qualify in the top 2, then what I'll probably want to do is probably start from the pit. Go from the pit, sacrifice a little iRating so that we can get a big enough boost to get us over the hump and get us promoted, and that way we can end stream and I can go to bed. Reno C. Rodriguez. Rodriguez with an S. Breno C. Rodriguez. Oh, but how you doing tonight, chat? Everybody good? Everybody chilling? Sunday night. Everybody's gonna have a case of the Mondays tomorrow. My Monday was Saturday, yesterday. Even though I was supposed to be off all weekend, but there was overtime that I picked up. So the last 2 days were all for the money, aka all for the bills. I could have spent it racing and with my family, but my wife told me to pick it up. She said I could pick it up, so. Plus, after spending all the money on sim racing gear, which I did have to unload a lot of my Pokemon collection to do, which made childhood me cry when I was reorganizing the office yesterday and I was going through the Pokemon stuff that I still had. I'm like, oh, and I was like, oh wait, I didn't sell this. Okay, good. So it's kind of one of those bittersweet things where I sold a lot of it, invested some of it into myself. Some things to make me happy, like the rig, and the rest of it I put off to the side because we're expecting some home repairs that we're probably gonna have to do in the next few years. So it was probably, you know, best idea to put some of that away. Alright, we're not going to run crazy on this lap because we got cold tires and we got a mission. We have a goal. Try and get these two done by 10:15, run one more race at Tsukuba. Which is probably going to be horrendous because we just drove the M4 for, at that point in time, it'll be like an hour and a half-ish. So going from light speed to driving the small John boat is gonna be kind of rough. We're only 2 seconds slower than our fastest after driving like that. We'll pick it up a little bit. We'll pick up the speed just a little bit. Easy. Ooh, easy. When the force feedback shoves me around a little bit, it's actually shaking my mic arm. It's kind of funny. And that way, if we go just a little bit slower, I can work on my angles. And because I've not looked up any lap guides on this track, I literally just ran it in...
Okay, Larson. That lap was a 2:14.51.
Thank you, crew chief. Because we literally ran it in test drive so that I had the driving line so that I could learn the track. Because I'm not familiar with it at all. So just kind of know roundabout where the braking points are. And then we jumped into practice and only did it for like an hour. But doing these is when you're not screwing up like I did on the first one. Going just a little bit slower will help me identify my angles a little bit better. So I think the gears that I'm in, I think are correct. I feel like I might be able to get away with staying in third there, but maybe not. You guys tell me, I'm not entirely sure. Add lift there because I didn't take tight enough, because I didn't hug that tight enough. I feel like that I'm supposed to be more towards the outside, but I'm not sure. Unfortunately, we won't get to run any races at this track because we're so late. We got to our B-class license so late this week. If I remember correctly, I was wanting to be B-class last week. But with the Porsche Cup, that didn't quite happen. Alright, we'll try and turn it up this lap. We'll try and turn it up a little bit. Trying to turn it up a little bit. try to get close to 208. Oh, broke a little too late on that. Two 11.4.
Fastest lap of the session.
Forgive me. This turn scares me every time.
That was your fastest lap.
2:11.1, so 3/10 off that one. There we go again with the latency issues. Huh. Frames look beautiful, but Most speed, most speed. I had to lift a hair. I feel like you can actually do that in third. If you do it correctly. I did not. But we're down in the 210s now. And that was our last lap.
That was your fastest lap.
Great job, Larson. That's your quickest lap today. That lap was a 2:10.51.
Okay.
Left front, 98%. Rear left, 99.
Reno hasn't ran a lap yet? Odd. I didn't withdraw. Oh my goodness. Starting to get warm in my office. The nice thing about it is it's in the basement, so it usually is 5, 6, 7 degrees cooler than it is upstairs. But with as hot as it was today, it stormed pretty much from yesterday afternoon until noon today, and then the sun came out and proceeded to make everything so humid and disgusting. I got home, changed into some shorts and a shirt, and I went outside to pick some cherry tomatoes in my garden, and it took about 5 minutes or so to find them all. And I came back inside, and I was soaked. It was disgusting. And yeah, Illinois in the summer, it sucks. And this summer has been really, really bad. It's been really, really hot. I feel like the last couple summers there's been, like maybe a handful of days where it's like, oh no, can't do anything. It's way too hot. But it feels like, 90% of the days so far this summer it's just been way too ridiculous. It's like, nope, staying inside. My poor kid, my oldest poor kid loves being outside a lot, and he has not liked being cooped up in the house or, whichever set of grandparents, poor kid. But it'll get better soon, right? Through like the first or second week of September, it'll probably still have the capability of getting pretty warm, but after that, fall will be here. Wear hoodies every single day. Shorts with hoodies. That's when you know the weather's good. Shorts to breathe, and then hoodies just to keep the chill off. Why am I talking about shorts and hoodies? Why are we talking about the weather? Somebody else has to have something better to talk about than the weather. Yeah, there's my latency again. Dark, dark red. So my internet provider must be sucking tonight. It's absolutely ridiculous. Y'all see that? That is so dumb. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Well, let's hope and pray that the latency will stay away long enough to get these done. I'm scared to run a race now because I know how it feels to run a race with somebody that's literally their car is jumping all over the track because of the latency. So I don't want to subject anybody else to that. Cold tires, cold tires, cold tires, cold tires. I should have gotten a drink. Let's try and do a 209. We're gonna have to really push the rest of this lap, though. Oops, oops, oopsies.
Track limits, pay attention.
Oops. Started over. No reason in finishing the lap. I probably could have practiced, right? But no, we're trying to finish this. Yeah, it's 2:03. There's no way we're gonna make a race. That sun is killing me. I can barely see because of the sun. The sun's technically not that bad for, for everyone else. It's probably not as bad, but my glaucoma. I got the glaucomas. Easy, killer. Pay attention. You got cold tires again. Add a lift there.
You're experiencing some network difficulties. If it continues, they may remove
Latency, stop it. Knock it off. Stop it. You kicked me from this session, I swear on everything. You go back down now. I think it was a Sunday night when it did this crap to me last time. It was. It was a Sunday night. So what is it with my internet provider and give me crappy internet on Sunday nights? Does anybody know? Does your internet go to crap on Sunday nights too? Because apparently mine does. Stupid Twitter. We got 3 laps after this that we got to do. Itch my knee. Oop, oop, oop. It said that because of, I think it said the discontinuity was because of the latency. But as long as we can make it through this, it should be okay, right? Unless it says I have purples, but then when we get out and the official results come in, and it's like, no, you didn't do it right. In which that case, we're going to keep running it because I'm getting this done tonight. I want to get the MPLAREN stuff done tonight. If I got to run a race in my, you know, another night for stream or something, then it is what it is. Didn't have to go down in the purse on that. Whoops. Maybe that lap didn't count. Maybe all these laps haven't counted. I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, because on my little black box there, it actually says that that was the first lap that we completed. I don't remember feeling those bumps, but they're probably there.
Just finished your fastest lap of the session.
Good thing I looked up, because I really wasn't paying attention. I was on autopilot. I about missed that breaking point.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
Let's do one more just in case. Leg itches. Okay. Let's try and beat our fastest. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, the boat slid a little there. Boat slid just a little bit. Somebody sent a message and I can't look at it. Hello, Rage. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Oops. Easy. That was dangerous. Avoided the off track on that, but we should be good. This is just a free lap, but it's a just in case lap because it was telling us about the latency issues or whatever. And we stayed in third. Oops. Probably should have went in the second, but we're gonna be close. About us 1 1/3 seconds off our fastest. Oh, now we're gaining speed. And then I missed shift.
Just set your fastest lap of the session.
Yeah, I came to iRacing after Gran Turismo 7. I actually played with Moto and the other. I don't know if anybody else from RSR was there that night, or not. At least when I was playing. Nope. First 3 laps. So we got to run one more. It's still saying latency variation, so this lap might not even count either. Go away, latency. I played last week, and it was a really it was a very interesting couple races that I ran. But I plan on playing Gran Turismo 7, just not right at this moment. Alright, let's get this latency. Internet, just stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Go back. Okay, go back to normal. Thank you. So yeah, now we got to run this one more lap because it didn't count our first 3. I'm glad that I checked. But yeah, I've been playing mostly iRacing the last month. But I was pretty heavy into Gran Turismo 7. The 3 months prior to me starting my channel, actually. I wish I would have recorded more of my Gran Turismo stuff, but I just felt like when I started the channel, it felt like it was the right time, so that's when I did it. And I just happened to be heavy on iRacing when I did. What is the meaning of your name? Okay, I knew this. Somebody was going to ask at some point. So, when I was in high school, my group of friends, for whatever reason, a lot of people referred to us as the Crackers. So we didn't actually go by that name, but a lot of, be like, oh, look, look, there's the Crackers. It's like, okay. Anyway, so that's where it's not supposed to be crack. When I got my first Xbox 360 and Call of Duty, is when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out really big. Everybody was playing it. And you had to, you had to do an Xbox Live name. So BratWurst is actually a play off of my last
front,
name.
100%, rear left, 100.
My legal last name. So people would call me Bratwurst just for shits and giggles, whatever. And so that's how I had to make an Xbox Live name. So I was like, okay, well, Bratwurst, because that's me. And then I was gonna put Bratwurst and like Bratwurst and crackers, and you couldn't fit all of it on there, so I just had to shorten it. I was like Bratwurst and crack. I was like, people are gonna have a fun, they're gonna have a fun time. They're gonna have a laugh when they, run around a Call of Duty and they get killed by Bratwurst and crack. So that's where it came from. Stupid, I know, but I didn't even check to see if that lap counted. Okay. Oh hey, I didn't even really. I wasn't paying attention. We did a 209. Move on to Windows 11, man. I know. I'm guilty as charged. I'm guilty. I know it. Let's see. We're 3 out of 4 time trials. Well, which time trial didn't count then? Apparently, somebody's left. Apparently, in that last session, I bet one of my laps didn't count because of the latency. I thought I checked. I thought we checked. I wonder what's your age. Do you really want to know how old I am? Do I look young? Do I look old? We're gonna have to run another time trial. Well, yeah, one of them must not have counted. We ran that one till we. Yeah, one of them must not have counted. Weird. That's fine. We can spare another 15 minutes. We can hang out for another 15 minutes. You look 18 years old, but looks are often deceptive. I guess we should never judge. Okay, yeah. No, I am Am I considered middle-aged now? I don't know. Hold that thought. I need to use the restroom because I'm an old man and I also drink a lot of water, but still I have to pee about 1,000,000 times a day, so I'll be right back. I appreciate it though, Rage. No, there's gray in there, my friend. There's lots of gray. I'm not, I'm not like 60 or anything, but I can say that high school was 20 years ago. I can say that. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm not 37. I'm close, but I am not 37. I'm at the end of my high school now, and next year I'll go to college, university. Yeah, we call it both. Mostly college, but it can either or. They're called, a lot of them are called universities, so you can call them universities. But yep, last time trial. We're up to after this one we should be back up to where we were because we yeah, we'll be back up to where we were at. It was a big oof losing. What did we lose? 8 or 9? I think we lost 8 in that first time trial because I was stupid and didn't practice before we jumped into it because I was like, we'll be all right. I was like, we'll be okay. Forgot to move the mic back close enough to. But yeah, that's lesson learned there. We weren't in the M2, which I basically ran all week, and then we jumped into this car. I'm like, I'll be fine. No, you won't be fine. Practice, dumbass. Practice. Run at least 5 laps before you jump into a car you've only driven for an hour this week. I am not that good. I cannot just switch cars like that. All right. So last time trial, I was planning on being done streaming by 10:30, but you guys get a little special treat, and I'm staying on for a little while. Oh, about the. By the way, thanks for that sub yesterday. It was. Oh, no problem, dude. I got you, man. I'm starting out because we. When did I start? When did I launch the channel? Was it like the 2nd or the 3rd of July? I think it was the 2nd or 3rd is when I posted my first video. And I'm very grateful. It's the 17th, so it's been about a month and a half, and we're already up to 40 subs or something like that. I mean, that makes my heart happy, and I've met some really cool people, you included, and uh, I'm I've hung out with RSR, and I try to make it into their stream and show some love and appreciation to those guys, and just month and a half. If you would have told me that, in a month and a half you'll have 40 subs, I've been like, nah, there ain't no way. So, I just appreciate everybody that's subbed and has, has chose to spend their Sunday night before going back to work or school or whatever, tomorrow, spending it with me, watching me drive a race, drive a simulated race car around a simulated track. I mean, that's why I started this channel, is that so we could all hang out and not think about what's going on in the real world and decompress and laugh and talk about how stupid the nickname BratWurstNcrack is. I mean, that's the whole point of the nickname. What did I put in my mouth? Oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing good. It's nothing illegal for somebody my age. But tobacco products are not good for you. So Rage, what car? Because I believe you play Gran Turismo 7. Which car do you like the most? What's your favorite car to run?
Okay, Larson, you've just done a 2:16.24.
One lap down, 4 more to go. That would have been nearly starting over and having to do another 4. Or another 5. Someone who has had a 6-year addiction to bad stuff, I know how easy it is getting something and how hard it is. Yeah, well, I've quit and I've quit and restarted tobacco products multiple times in my life. When we finally got to the bottom of my health issues and everything, I had to stop doing a lot of stuff that I had been doing, and so, no alcohol, none of, nothing that adults do. And, I had to give up all the crap food I was eating, and it's like, well, I have to have some kind of vice, so unfortunately vaping is that vice. And I am trying to quit. I need to. I was able to kick all the other stuff, and I just haven't been able to kick it again. I need to go down in the second when I come out of there. I know that's definitely not the right exit for that turn. It's terrible. I know I'm PSP, make sure else simmer, see when I get a college and left cars missing GT. Solid choice. The Ford dealership here and where I'm at, I think it was on Friday, had a Mustang GTE delivered. So they have a Mustang GTE sitting on their showroom floor in bubble wrap, or not bubble wrap, but like it's basically shrink wrapped. And I need to go see that car. I'm pretty sure it's like the America Anniversary Edition or something like that, because it's white and then it has the red, white, and blue stripe going straight down the center, and it is sweet looking. And they can't sell it for 2 years. It has to stay at the dealer for 2 years before they can sell it. And I think the MSRP on that car is like $440 some odd thousand. I'm like, oh my god. And I've never gotten to see like an actual race. Well, I mean, it's technically a street legal vehicle, but let's get serious. It's a friggin' race car. So, it's basically the exact same model that the Mustangs that they ran at Nürburgring. I'm pretty sure that it's exactly, like, all the specs and everything on it are exactly what they ran for the Nürburgring 24-hour this year. So I thought that was pretty neat that, where I live, and, they're giving our dealer, or they're sending one of, I think there are like only 100 of them, and they sent one of them to my city. Like, that's weird, because the city I live in is not that big. It's like barely considered a city. And we don't even have a movie theater right now, so it's stupid. Don't get me started on that. We have to drive 45 minutes away just to go see a dang movie. Which, that was one of my favorite things to do during the summer, because it's so hot out, and you could always bet that the movie theater is going to be ice cold. Easy. Not quite sure what I was doing there, but I am definitely starting to feel tired. I've checked that version of Mustang on YouTube now. Yep, Mustang GTE. My favorite car is the Ford GT. Well, I gotta go have fun. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in, hanging out. Take care of yourself. Don't get in any trouble. Do what you gotta do. Don't break any laws. Be smart. Don't do drugs. Be nice to your friends and family. Don't eat before you get in the pool. At least half an hour. You gotta wait half an hour.
55 left of the fish.
Don't cross the street without looking both ways. Don't take candy from strangers. Did I leave any out? I think we pretty much covered everything. That wasn't bad, I guess. Done.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
That's your quickest lap. You've just done a 209.49.
About a second off my fastest, so whatever. For not trying to push too hard, I think that's decent. Boom, boom, boom. Purple, 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 red. Time trial complete. Mission complete. And then we'll just have to... How much did I get for those? I was getting 2s, wasn't I? Because yeah, this is you being stupid and not practicing before you run in a car like that. Tried to make up for it by doing 11 laps, but that didn't help. Wait, was that? Yep, that was a -8. And then what have we been getting for all the other ones? 2, 2, 2, 3. So getting it all on your first 5 gets you 3 apparently. So we're 10 short, but that should be all we needed, right? Yep. So we need a 10 burger. Really tempted to jump into a race, but I know that is not a good decision because then I probably wouldn't fall asleep till midnight and I have to be up at 4. So that's probably where we should end it for the night. Unfortunately, I got a second win, but now okay, I lied. I'm tired. But so no promotion tonight. Stream tomorrow night, I would say more than likely. Will definitely be some practice because the GT3 stuff's going to a track I don't own, right? They're going to Silverstone next week, starting tomorrow night. I'm tempted to go. I am working an overtime shift, so I mean, I can justify saying screw it and spending $15. But I don't know. I'm not sure because M says that. M says that where Virginia, that's right. So I was kind of wanting to run some of that, but we will not be just jumping into a race tomorrow like that because I have no idea about Virginia. I've never stepped foot or in a simulation, never had a car on that track. So it's definitely going to be a lot of learning. So a lot of practice. So I think a lot of the time that we spend together this week is going to be late at night, and it will be pretty much practice. So there probably won't be a whole lot of actual racing going on, but out of curiosity, where are the M2s at next week? They're at Virginia too. Well, I would say that the learning curve on the M2 is probably a lot easier than jumping onto the track in a very, very, very fast bullet of a car. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's kind of what I've planned is we're going to be practicing a lot of Virginia this week. And I do need to take care of myself, and I do need to try and get some rest at some point instead of staying up so late. But tonight, I wanted to try and get that done, get the time trials done for MPR, and then we'll just, I was hoping to be in A class tonight, but we'll make up the 10 safety rating points at another time. But if you guys came to hang out with me, I appreciate it. Much love. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for spending it watching me and hanging out with me and talking. Take care of yourselves. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. What else? I'm tired. I can't even think of anything else to say. But all right, y'all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up. I would say 90% chance that tomorrow night I'll be on. I would say stream will start about 8:15 or so. So hopefully I'll see you then. Hopefully you'll come back and hang out, watch, have another track night, do some practicing, and I'll catch you guys later.